Okay, so let's get into it then. So because it's a set of Alcove units, I'm actually going to start in the room builder. So if we go to start design, and then that's going to bring up the room builder like this. I'm just going to jot this out quickly. Obviously you're going to spend a lot more time when you're doing yours, so I'm going to put it as like 1200. That's what will make the actual Alcove unit. Then going to add a quick wall in here, which I'll go down and rotate by 90. I'm just going to pull that down here a second, and I'll do that at like 400. We then need another wall in between, so we'll add another quick wall, and we'll say this is like, oh, let's just make it 1200. We'll make them all like equal. Drag that one there, another quick wall here, and again we'll make that 400. We're going to rotate that by 90 and flip it so that the little arrow is pointing into the room. That means the skirting on anything that we put on that wall will be inside of the room. And then I'm going to do one more quick wall here, and again I will make that 1200. So that's the kind of Alcove setup there. If we just zoom out here and have a look, I will just put the sidewalls in just to create the room a little bit as well. So I'll leave them at 2.4s. We'll just flip them round, or rotate them round should I say, by 90, and I will do another one here, again rotate it by 90 and flip it so that the arrow is in the middle. So there we go, that is our room plotted out. Like I say, you would take a lot more time in that. You'd obviously use your measures from your site survey, or if you're on site obviously you would do it there. So we go into the design now, and here we have our room. We can look at that as a front on view here, and the first thing I like to do is get rid of the ceiling so I can kind of look in here and see what is what. So we'll start with one side at a time, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to use snap lines here to set out my units, so I'm going to show you the way that I do it, because that's the idea behind these videos. So obviously I added snap lines in, which you will have seen in other videos here, where you can just type in 50, you can do them off the floor and what have you, and that gives you your space to set out your units. But I'm not going to do them. I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? Because I don't always use snap lines. So for this we need a low level unit, so I've already got one of these set up in my back end. Obviously today is not about showing you how to do that, and all I'm going to do is grab my flex tool. So mine's set up with F for the shortcut, and I'm going to stretch it and I'm going to snap it into the Alcove straight away. Okay, now instead of using snap lines, this is what I do. I find it a little bit quicker. The snap lines are great, but I just find doing it like this to be a lot faster for myself. So leaving the flex tool open, if I start dragging this unit off of the wall, you'll notice up here my little input field comes up, and I can type 50 and hit enter. That's then going to bring it off of the wall 50, and I'm going to do the same for this side. Start typing 50. So there we go. So automatically I've now just brought that unit 50mm off the side. I haven't had to set up any snap lines or anything like that. All I did, took it full size and then snapped it off. Okay, going to get rid of my flex tool, and I'm going to do the same but just with the move tool here on the gizmo on the green axis. Just going to start sliding it up, and I'm going to type 120. Okay, that's the height I want it off the floor. It's now 120mm off the floor and 50mm off of each side wall. Done, dusted. We can come into the settings here and just take a look at the depth. I'm going to make it 500, so it will protrude the wall here, but not by too much. And in terms of the height, I don't mind it being at 800. Actually, let's just bring it down to like 700mm. So there we go, that's all set out, done, dusted. We haven't got to do anything else. I'm going to work on this as one unit, and then I'm going to copy everything across because the openings are the same size. So the next thing I'm going to do is, well, I'll tell you what, let's do the worktop before we do anything else. So the way I do a worktop is I grab a filler. I just find it's the quickest way. While I've got my fillers out, I'll just whack them on each side as well. But I find it's the quickest way. Literally, I can go into this now, change it from filler 1 to worktop, and then flex tool it and just push it back to the wall, over to the side, over to this side, and I actually want it to go right across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just extend it out and type 50 because I know that's where I need it to go. This one over here will be shy. So if I just grab this filler and extend the filler over, I want to extend that over about that. And then again, I can grab that worktop and just extend that out as well. And then lastly, I can just grab this filler, F for flex, and just snap that to the edge of the worktop because I know the worktop is in place. Okay, so that's it. I find that's the quickest way to lay down something like a worktop. You can then come back into those settings and we can look at the thickness and change it. Now on here, you'll remember in previous videos, you know, where I've said about it in the cutting list, where it sometimes gets the orientation a little bit mixed up with free panels. So if you look at this here, it says that the length is 18 mil. Well, we know that's the thickness, so we can just change that around. I'm going to put that to 50 mil. Okay, when you come to making your cutting list, if I come into here and show you that, it's going to pick up the fact that it thinks that it's the wrong way round. This thickness here, look, it's flagged it and says, oh, the thickness is saying 678. You can then come in here and tell it the thickness is actually 50, and you can change it there. But the flags will come up. It will give you that kind of visual to tell you that something is wrong. Okay, cool. So that's the worktop on, put it in at 50 mil, happy with that. Just need to extend those fillers down to the floor. So again, flex tool here, just going to extend those down just by highlighting and snapping them down to the floor. And I'm going to stick a bottom filler on, and again, flex tool that bottom filler and just snap that down to the floor. So there we go. And then what we want to do, we want to put an end panel in here. Quickest way of doing it is with the end panel button. Yes, it's going to glue it to the side of the unit. So we could hide this panel here and you will now see the end panel. Oh, don't hide the end panel. Apologies. Hide that filler, get rid of the hide tool. So what you're going to do is snap it over and then just flex tool it down. There we go. So at the minute it's full. It's a full end panel. So if I turn off the walls for a second, you'll see that that's a full end panel. Obviously, don't want to waste material. You could just pull that back to wherever you want because you don't need much of an end panel for this. And then I'm just going to unhide everything to bring our filler back, and we can put our walls back in as well. Okay, cool. So that's the lower unit done. You would do it a lot faster than this. Obviously, I'm talking through everything and showing you how I'm doing things. But like I say, you will do things a lot faster. Just going to add some doors to it and go into my doors, and I'm going to change them to shaker panel like this and just put them in at one panel. Cool, happy with that. Next thing to do is to add the top unit. Now I've got a baseless shelving unit here, so I drop that in. It's already got some shelves set up from the back end, so I can just drag that in place, drag it over, get my flex tool, snap it to the ceiling. I will snap it to the ceiling, let everything go, then I do my little deduction thing. So I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to bring it down by 120. So I'm just going to type that in. For the depth, I'll just push it back somewhere around here. We just take a look at the settings. 218, bit of a random size. We'll just do it to 250. And then again, I'm just going to get rid of the flex for a minute. I'm going to push it all the way over to the side. Then I'm going to grab my flex tool. I'm going to snap it all the way over to the side in terms of the width, and then I'm going to bring it back the distance. Now for this, I want my fillers to overlap the unit, so I'm not going to bring it back 50, I'm going to bring it back 32 mil on each side, and then I'm going to overlap the fillers, and then when I do so, the fillers will finish at 50 mil. Quite a mouthful there, but I'm sure you know what I mean. So I can put this filler in here like so. I can go into it and I can just start flexing it. I'll tell you what, I can just type 30, not 32, I can just type 50 in here because I know I want it to be 50, and then I can just snap it into place and I know that's right. Flex tool it up to the ceiling before I copy it, and then just duplicate, copy, whatever you want to call it, just with this little button here, bring it over. And it will snap to this edge. It won't snap to where I actually want it to. Oh, actually, it has picked it up. That's because it's recognized that that's what we're doing over here. But sometimes when you first add them in, they won't snap. So the answer to it is just snap it to the edge, drag it over, type 18, and you're away. Filler on the top. Again, flex tool, bring the sides in because we've overlapped. Snap it up to the ceiling. And here, again, this one, won't snap to where we want it. So just start dragging it down, type 18, and we're done. Cool, happy with that. That's all looking good. So now the tongue and groove panels. So this is a new feature that I've added in. This is a brand new feature. I haven't showed this in any videos. And what I've got is a modify panel button. So if we highlight the modify panel button and we touch a panel, it's then going to bring up this little pop-up and it will say tongue and groove or plane. If we go to tongue and groove, it's going to put all the grooves in, and we can adjust the distance there. I'm going to adjust them to, in actual fact, I'm going to leave them at 125. I'm quite happy with that. We go a little bit less, 120, there we go. So that's it. There's your tongue and groove panel, literally done at the click of a button. So that's really nice. I now want to copy this over to the other side, because obviously it's identical. So I'm just going to use my select tool and I'm going to do that now. So you select everything. You then hit this group copy. That's going to have copied everything, and you can see it's out here. And then when it's out here, a little bit quirky, I probably will do something about this, but you have to reselect it and then you can drag it back into where you want it to be. So we want it to be there. Now at the moment the copy doesn't do the tongue and groove panel, so we need to just whack the modifier there, tongue and groove it, and I think it was 120 that we did, and it doesn't copy the doors over. However, I'm actively working on the copy stuff, so I will get that to work. For now though, we can just add doors. Oh nope, we're still on our modify panel, so we can just add our doors in here and it's done. We can just do it at a click of a button anyway. It's not really a problem at all. And our end panel will be on the wrong side, so I might be able to grab it from under here. Let's have a look, see if I can get to it. I can't, so if I just grab my walls, bin them off for a minute, select this panel, nice. Let's just close the layout a minute. Actually, I don't need to duplicate it. I was going to duplicate it then. I just need to move it, don't I? So I can just bring that over here and just snap that back into place. So that's all done, and there we go. That's pretty much the unit done. We just need to add some finishes to it. So I'm going to come into my finishes, and I've actually already got this selected, but I'm really liking this James White at the moment. I'm going to color everything in this color. We can see now we've actually lost our tongue and groove when I change the color, so you can definitely see it's a work in progress, but I don't edit this out. I like to show you guys. You guys know this is on a beta, so you do know that there are like little quirks and stuff like this, but that's all good. I like to show you. Also, what's quite nice when these little mistakes do happen and you see these little glitches, you also see just how quickly I've turned that back into a tongue and groove panel. So it's really nice. We're looking at a matter of seconds and we're back there anyway. So there are the colors. I'm then going to get rid of this color here. I'm just going to grab a wood grain and I'm going to make sure I've got rid of my modifier. I'm going to select the worktop as a wood grain. We need to toggle that grain over though, so it's the other way. I think I'm going to, I'm not going to do the shelves. I was going to change the shelves, but I'm going to leave them as they are. So there we go. So that's all done. That's looking good now. The last thing I'd probably do in a situation like this is I would change my floor to wood, and I would get it closer to this wood here for now. There we go. Cool. Happy with that. I can then turn on my ceiling and I'm now ready to render this out. In actual fact, let's put a cornice at the top. It's quite a traditional unit, and the one that we were showing had a cornice, so let's do that. So I'm just going to grab a cornice and I'm going to snap it in place. If I zoom in and just see where I can get a good snap on it, it's going to be there to there and to that, and then we can just grab it and move it up to wherever we want it to go. Move that up by 20 mil. Cool. And then I'll just quickly do the same the other side. Again, snap that in place. And again, I'll just shove that up by about 20 mil. Cool, there we go. Pop the ceiling back in, and there we have it. We are now ready to render. I'll tell you what, let's pop some handles on it. So I'm going to use the handle feature in here. So because this is just plain doors, they're all one height, there's not too much going on with them. You could, if I get rid of that one, you could come into accessories, flick your handles on here. Let's go to knob. We will centralize them on the shaker, brass, and we could then lift them up from bottom. There we go, job done. Yeah, so that's the quickest way to do handles if all the doors are the same. However, if they were different heights, or you wanted some different orientation with T-bars and stuff like that, then you could also go into handles, click the button. You'll see that it's put one in there. You've got central on panel. You can do that if you want to. You can do the offset, the bar length, you can move it around, and then we could put it wherever we want to, and you can do it like this. So you can do your handles like that as well. Like I say, for this situation here, I'd literally just do them how I did them a second ago on the side and just sort of self-generate the handles. So that's it, we are all good. I'm going to render this up now, and I'm going to show you what I've got. So for this particular render, I wouldn't use my front end render prompt where it puts it straight onto a white background. I would get rid of the prompt, and then I would record a new prompt in here. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to wait for it to render, because it takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to do that now, and then I'll show you the render. In actual fact, let me show you the prompt that I use for this. So I always record my prompts so I don't have to type. It's a nice feature that I've built into the software. So let's go with this. Please take my CAD image and turn it into a photorealistic image. Do not change any of the sizes or aesthetics of any of the cabinets within the image. Keep them exactly as they are in the CAD image. Just make it ultra photorealistic. Please make the wooden floor realistic and keep it a similar color to it is now. Keep the worktops on the cabinet the same wood color they are, and keep the paint color on the cabinets the same color as it is in the CAD image, but make sure it's flat. Do not add a grain to it. The walls should be a nice neutral off-white, and the ceiling should be white. Could you please also add some horizontal LED lighting to the shelving area, and add some books and other display items to the shelving area to make the image ultra photorealistic? Can we also add a piece of artwork to the wall in between the two cabinets? So there we go, that's the prompt that I've given it. I'm going to whack generate now, and then I'm going to pause the video and come back to you when it's done so you can see the results. So here we go then, these are the results. That took about 45 seconds. If I download it, that should come up and you can see it a little bit off center, and I'm going to show you something that I've added in which is really cool. But obviously when you download the image, you can just click edit, and then you could get it more central, couldn't you? Just hit save. Just in case you didn't know that, you can do that. So there we go, look at that. Absolutely love that. Looks really good. Done everything that I've asked it to do, kept everything correct, all the aesthetic and everything, hasn't changed any of the sizes of the cabinets, the fillers or anything like that. Everything is pretty perfect. So there we go, there are the results. Just going to show you this quickly. So I've added this grid up here, grid lines. So these are for renders. So you can click this when you're doing a front end render, and then it helps you centralize everything. So you can have a look and say, okay, I've got like 3 grids on here, so I need to kind of centralize this this way, you know, and you can move it around. It's more so for the white background renders. So if you were doing a whole bunch of them, if you were trying to render a load of doors out for a catalog or something like that, then you could get them all exactly the same size. But this is a really nice little feature that I've added. The other thing as well is I've added a nice little prompt in with sounds as well. I'm not sure if you'll hear this, but when I press render, hear that little beep, you hear this, and it will tell you here, look, it will pulse and say that your grid lines are still on. Okay, so it saves you a render here. You're not going to render it with the grid lines on, basically. If you then try and generate the image again, it will pop up and say your grid lines are still on. You can either carry on with the grid lines or you can turn them off. So I'm not going to re-render it, but I just wanted to show you grid lines because I think they're really cool, and that's the whole reason why I added them in the first place. We can just turn them off there. So there we go then, guys. That's how I would design some alcove units, add the tongue and groove backs, do all of the rest of it, and the render you can see there. Obviously the video is, you know, it's like 20 minutes or whatever it is. Obviously you would do it a lot quicker than that. You can see how fast that I do things. Also, as you well know, your cutting list is ready from this, your DXF files are ready from this, everything is good to go. But yeah, just wanted to show you my workflow, how I do things, just so you can see that way, and I can shed a little bit of light on it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Get in the comment section, let me know. Hopefully it's helped you. Let me know if it has helped you. Let me know if you do something differently, and also let me know if there's something you think I should add in there which will make the whole process faster as well. Other than that, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.